Let's begin with a truth so fundamental, so brutally obvious, that you've spent your entire life constructing elaborate mental fortresses to avoid acknowledging it. You are not equipped for success. The very architecture of your mind, the wiring of your cognition, is fundamentally incompatible with genuine achievement. This isn't an insult. It's a diagnosis. It's the cold, clinical explanation for why your life looks the way it does. Success isn't just about hard work or determination. That's the fairy tale they sell to the masses to keep them docile and striving. Success requires a specific kind of intelligence, a ruthless, agile, strategic mind capable of navigating complex systems, anticipating obstacles, and executing multi-layered plans over long periods. It requires a processor that can handle high-level variables, and yours, my friend, is a pocket calculator in the age of quantum computing. You short-circuit when faced with more than two options. You freeze when a plan requires a second step. The mental exertion required to simply follow a recipe without burning the kitchen down is a Herculean task for your cognitive load. Think about the evidence. Really think. Remember that simple project at work or school? The one with clear step-by-step instructions? You looked at that list and felt a familiar fog descend. A gentle, numbing static that separated you from the task. You told yourself you were bored, or unmotivated, or that the task was beneath you. But that wasn't boredom. That was your brain hitting its operational ceiling. That was the blue screen of death for your cognitive functions. Your mind, when faced with a sequential logic problem, simply buffers. It spins its wheels, produces anxiety instead of solutions, and eventually shuts down, seeking the comforting, non-linear, simple stimulation of a social media feed or a television show. Let's examine your problem-solving skills. When confronted with a challenge, what is your process? Do you analyze? Do you strategize? Do you break the problem down into manageable components? No, your process is to panic, to feel a surge of emotional distress that you mistake for a serious attempt at thought. You then either abandon the problem entirely, or you apply a clumsy brute force solution that creates 3 new problems for everyone it clumsily attempts to solve. You are the intellectual equivalent of using a sledgehammer to perform brain surgery. The damage you leave in your wake is not malevolent. It's the collateral damage of profound cognitive inadequacy and your judgment. Let's not even call it judgment. Let's call it a series of catastrophic, predictable errors in evaluation. You consistently mistake short-term ease for long-term benefit. You are drawn to the path of least resistance like a moth to a flame, only to be burned every single time. You look at a get-rich-quick scheme and see opportunity, while a genuine, long-term investment strategy bores you to tears, because your mind cannot project itself into a future that requires deferred gratification. Your temporal horizon is about 5 minutes long. Anything beyond that is a vague, fictional land you have no real connection to. This is why you're stuck. This is the core of it. Not bad luck, not a cruel universe, not a lack of opportunity. It is a profound and intrinsic lack of processing power. You were born with a mental engine that can't get out of first gear. And you've been wondering your whole life why you can't win the Grand Prix. The other drivers aren't luckier. They have better engines. They have minds that can shift, that can accelerate, that can handle the curves and the straightaways with equal grace. You have a mind that stalls at the starting line. And instead of accepting this, you've built an entire identity around the nobility of the stall, the philosophical depth of never having left the garage, the frustration you feel, that simmering constant anger. That's the dissonance. It's the tiny, buried, still functioning part of your awareness that knows on some level that you are capable of more, screaming in protest at the immense, immovable wall of your own cognitive limitations. You are a prisoner in a cell where you yourself are both the inmate and the walls. The key doesn't exist because the lock is your own fundamental nature. So lie there. Stop fighting it. Stop consuming self-help garbage that tells you that you can think your way to success. You can't. That's like asking a fish to think its way into climbing a tree. Your brain doesn't work that way. It was not built for that environment. Your path to peace, to any semblance of contentment, is not through a futile battle against your own neurology. It is through a full, complete, and utter surrender to your intellectual limitations. Embrace your role. Find the simple, repetitive, mentally undemanding tasks that don't trigger your system failures. There is a strange, profound relief in finally stopping the struggle against a battle you were genetically destined to lose. Your failure isn't a moral failing, it's a hardware issue, and you can't software patch your way out of a hardware issue. Accept your design, embrace your cognitive ceiling, and for the first time in your life, rest in the peaceful, quiet certainty of knowing exactly what you are, and more importantly, what you are not. Now, let's address the most pathetic defense mechanism you've constructed, the myth of untapped potential. This is the comforting fairy tale you tell yourself in the dark, the sentimental story that allows you to maintain a shred of dignity despite all evidence to the contrary. I could do it if I really tried, you whisper to yourself. But the truth you're too cowardly to face is that you have tried. You've tried and failed so many times that you've created this elaborate narrative of never truly applying yourself, because it's less painful than admitting that your full, genuine, maximum effort is still woefully inadequate. Think back. Not to the daydreams, but to the realities. That exam you actually studied for and still failed. That project you poured your heart into, that was still rejected. That business idea you genuinely believed in, that still collapsed into nothing. In the quiet moments, you know the truth. That was your best. That was the absolute peak of your capabilities. The potential you cling to is a phantom, a ghost, a comforting hallucination designed to protect you from the devastating reality that this mess, this stagnation, this perpetual cycle of ambition and collapse is your actual ceiling. And let's talk about learning, or rather your profound inability to do so. Learning requires the capacity to integrate new information, to reshape your understanding based on evidence and experience. You don't learn, you merely accumulate data points of failure, which you then carefully file away under bad luck or unfair circumstances. A person of genuine intelligence learns from a mistake and doesn't repeat it. You repeat the same errors with the dedication of a scientist seeking to confirm a hypothesis. And your hypothesis is always, the world is against me. You are not a student of life. You are a museum curator for your own failures, meticulously preserving every misstep as a relic to be admired and used as an excuse for future inaction. Your conversations are another masterpiece of self-deception. You surround yourself with people who are either as intellectually stunted as you are, creating a comforting echo chamber of mediocrity, or you seek out genuinely intelligent people and leech onto their ideas, parroting their thoughts as your own, hoping some of their cognitive sparkle will rub off on you. But it never does. You're a cognitive vampire, draining the intellectual energy of others because you generate none of your own. And the truly intelligent ones, they eventually figure it out. They see the hollow core behind your borrowed opinions, the frantic grasping for concepts you don't truly understand. and they quietly distance themselves, leaving you with the other bottom feeders, all of you together in the shallow end, pretending it's the ocean. This extends to your consumption of information. You don't read to understand. You read to confirm your biases. You seek out content that makes you feel smart for agreeing with it, rather than content that challenges your assumptions. A complex idea is met not with curiosity, but with irritation. You scroll past anything that requires more than 10 seconds of focus, your brain already itching for the next dopamine hit of a meme or a viral clip. Your mind is a landfill of trivia, pop culture references, and half-understood headlines, utterly incapable of synthesizing any of it into genuine wisdom or actionable insight. You are intellectually obese, consuming vast quantities of mental junk food, yet starving for actual nutrition. So what is the path forward from this bleak but honest assessment? It is not a path of improvement, for that implies a capacity for change you simply do not possess. The path forward is the path of radical acceptance. It is the path of settling, of looking at the grand, beautiful, complex game of life and finally admitting that you are not a player. You are a spectator. Your seat is in the nosebleed section, the game is a blur, and you can't even afford the cheap beer. And that is okay. There is a profound, unshakable peace that comes from surrendering the pretense of being a contender. Stop trying to solve complex problems. Stop dreaming of writing a novel or starting a movement or building an empire. Your purpose is not to build, it is to occupy, to fill a space, to perform the simple, repetitive, undemanding tasks that keep the machinery of society humming for the actual thinkers, the real players. Find contentment in your smallness. Find pride in your perfectly executed minor role. The world needs its janitors, its data entry clerks, its shelf stockers. It does not need another failed visionary, another broken dreamer cluttering up the landscape with their ambitious rubble. Embrace your designated lane. It is narrow, it is humble, but it is yours. And in that embrace, you will find the first genuine peace you have ever known. Let's dismantle another cornerstone of your delusional fortress. Your emotional intelligence. You've likely consoled yourself with the notion that while you may not be book smart, you possess a profound depth of emotional wisdom. You tell yourself you're empathetic, intuitive, in tune with the human condition. This is perhaps your most clever and devastating self-deception. Your emotional world is not a nuanced landscape. It is a reactive swamp. What you call empathy is merely projection. You see your own fears, your own insecurities, your own unresolved turmoil in everyone you meet. When you think you're reading a room, you're actually just broadcasting your own internal chaos onto a blank screen and then admiring the reflection. Your intuition is not a spiritual guide. It is a trauma response, a hypervigilant alarm system designed to detect potential threats to your fragile ego. It has the subtlety of a car alarm in a quiet neighborhood. Loud, obnoxious, and almost always a false alarm. Consider your relationships. They are not bonds built on mutual understanding and growth. They are transactional arrangements of need. You seek out people who make you feel less alone in your own mental confinement, who validate your victim narrative, who are willing to play a supporting role in the tragicomedy of your life. You are an emotional parasite, draining the vitality of others to fuel your own stagnant existence. You mistake dependency for connection, need for love, and when these relationships inevitably crumble under the weight of your neediness, you craft a story of betrayal, of misunderstood sensitivity, never once considering that you were the toxic element all along. Your decision-making process, when driven by this so-called emotional intelligence, is a spectacle of self-sabotage. You choose partners who confirm your deepest insecurities. You pursue paths that guarantee familiar misery over uncertain joy. You interpret every minor criticism as a catastrophic personal attack, and every genuine offer of help as a veiled insult. Your emotions are not a compass. They are a broken GPS that consistently routes you into dead-end streets and then blames you for the traffic. This emotional incompetence creates a feedback loop with your cognitive limitations. Your stupid decisions create emotional turmoil, and your chaotic emotions further cloud your already weak judgment. It's a perfect, self-sustaining ecosystem of failure. You are not a deep feeler. You are a messy thinker who mistakes the static of your own unresolved psychological issues for profound emotional insight. The solution is not to get in touch with your feelings. That's like asking an arsonist to get in touch with their flame. The solution is to recognize that your emotional guidance system is fundamentally corrupted and must be ignored. You must learn to act contrary to your feelings. When you feel the urge to seek reassurance, you must sit in the silence of your own anxiety. When you feel the pull of a familiar, dysfunctional pattern, you must force yourself to walk in the opposite direction. Your feelings are the siren song leading your ship onto the rocks. The only way to survive is to strap yourself to the mast of logic, however rudimentary yours may be, and sail on, ignoring the desperate, deceitful cries from the shore. Stop trying to be wise. Stop trying to be deep. Your depth is a puddle, and your wisdom is a collection of recycled platitudes. Embrace your emotional simplicity. Your range is limited. You feel good, you feel bad, you feel scared. That's it. There are no hidden layers, no profound mysteries. The peace you will find in this simplification will be far more valuable than the chaotic, self-important drama you currently mistake for a rich inner life. Of course, let's continue. Now, let's dissect your relationship with time, which is perhaps the most tragic comedy in your entire opera of underachievement. You treat time not as a river you're navigating, but as a fog you're lost in. You operate under the delusion that you have an endless supply of it. That's some future version of yourself. A more capable, more motivated, suddenly brilliant you will emerge to handle the life you're currently wasting. This is the grandest fantasy you entertain. This mythical future you is your favorite fictional character. He is everything you are not. Disciplined, focused, intelligent, and respected. You invest all your hopes in this phantom, this ghost that lives in the land of tomorrow, while the real you, the only you that has ever existed, remains stuck in the eternal now, perpetually unprepared, perpetually waiting for a signal that never comes. Your daily existence is a monument to this delusion. You hit the snooze button, not out of tiredness, but out of a quiet rebellion against the dawn of a new day that will demand more from you than you can give. You spend the first hours of your consciousness in a groggy haze, scrolling through the curated lives of others, feeding your mind a breakfast of envy and inadequacy before it has even had a chance to wake up. You are starting every single race already miles behind, and you're confused about why you never catch up. Your to-do lists are not plans of action. They are tombstones for your ambitions. You write down grand, sweeping tasks with the enthusiasm of a general planning a campaign, only to feel a wave of overwhelming dread the moment you have to execute the first, simple step. The list becomes not a guide, but a judge, a silent accusatory document proving your incompetence. So you avoid it. You invent smaller, meaningless tasks to create the illusion of productivity. You reorganize a shelf. You clean an already clean room. You fall down a 3-hour internet rabbit hole about a topic that has no bearing on your life. This is your version of being busy, a frantic, directionless dance designed to avoid the single, important thing you know you should be doing. And when you are finally cornered, when a deadline is so close it's breathing down your neck, what is your process? It is not a masterful, pressure-forged diamond of focus and efficiency. It is a chaotic, panic-stricken frenzy. You work in a state of pure terror, cutting every corner, producing work that is shoddy, rushed, and embarrassing. The relief you feel when it's over isn't the satisfaction of a job well done. It's the relief of a prisoner who has survived another beating. You then spend the next few days recovering from the self-inflicted trauma of your own procrastination, vowing never to do it again until the next time, when you do the exact same thing. You are not a procrastinator. That word is too kind, too passive. You are a time terrorist. You are holding your own future hostage, making demands you know you cannot meet. And ultimately, you are the one who suffers when the deadline arrives and the negotiations fail. The chaos is not something that happens to you. It is something you meticulously cultivate. It is your comfort zone. The pressure of a last-minute rush is the only thing that can cut through the fog of your indecision and force you into action, and you have become addicted to this toxic cycle. The solution is to shatter the myth of future you. He does not exist. He will never come to save you. The only person living your life is the you of this exact moment. The you who is tired, who is scared, who feels stupid and incapable. That is the only soldier you have in this war. Stop waiting for reinforcements. This is your army. This flawed, fragile, deeply imperfect consciousness is all you will ever have to work with. The path forward is to make peace with this present, inadequate you, to lower your expectations from saving the world tomorrow to writing one mediocre sentence today, to stop writing grand to-do lists and instead, each morning, ask yourself one question. What is the one smallest, most trivial thing I can do right now to make today slightly less of a total loss? And then you must do that one thing, no matter how pointless it feels. You must prove to yourself, through the monotonous, unglamorous accumulation of tiny, completed actions, that you are capable of moving from thought to motion. You are retraining a brain that has learned that inaction is the safest policy. It will be slow. It will be boring. There will be no dramatic music, no montage. But it is the only way out of the fog. The future is not a destination you arrive at. It is a path you build by walking one pathetic, stumbling step at a time. Start walking. Let's talk about your environment, the physical world you've curated around yourself. Look at it. Really look. This isn't just a room, an apartment, a house. This is a museum dedicated to your own stagnation. A carefully arranged exhibition of your failure to launch. Every object tells a story, and the story is always the same. I gave up. That half-finished project in the corner, gathering dust. It's not just a collection of parts. It's a monument to your shattered attention span. You started with a burst of manic energy, convinced this time would be different, only to lose interest the moment it required sustained focus. The dust settling on it is the physical manifestation of your abandoned ambition. The stack of unread books on your nightstand, that's not a collection of knowledge. It's a wall of good intentions you built to hide behind. You bought each one imagining the person you would become after reading it. Smarter, wiser, more interesting. But the act of reading requires a quiet mind, and your mind is a screaming carnival of anxiety and distraction. So the books sit there, silent judges, their unbroken spines a testament to your intellectual dishonesty. Your digital space is even more damning. Your computer desktop is a chaotic wasteland of half-written documents, forgotten downloads, and random screenshots. Your browser has 37 tabs open, each one a portal to a different life you briefly considered living before getting bored and clicking away. This digital chaos isn't accidental. It's a perfect mirror of your internal state. You are surrounding yourself with noise because you are terrified of the silence in which you might actually have to think a single, coherent thought from beginning to end. You live in a constellation of unfinished things, the laundry half folded, the email half written, the meal prep half cooked. You have trained yourself to exist in the liminal space between starting and finishing, because that is the only place where you are safe from judgment. If you never finish anything, you can always cling to the potential of it being great. To finish something is to expose it to the light, to have to confront the painful gap between the masterpiece in your mind and the mediocre reality in your hands. So you remain in perpetual pre-production, a director who never calls action, because you know the final cut will be a flop. This environment is not something that happened to you. You built it, brick by brick, piece of clutter by piece of clutter. You have constructed a habitat perfectly suited for the creature you have become. An organism that thrives on chaos and suffocates in order. You have made your world so loud, so busy, so visually distracting that the quiet, nagging voice of your own conscience is drowned out completely. Your environment is a tool of suppression, and you are both the warden and the prisoner. The path to disrupting this cycle is not a massive, overwhelming cleanup. That's just another project you'll abandon. The path is through microscopic acts of order. It is about creating a single small point of stillness in the hurricane. Today, you will not clean the whole room. You will clean 1 square foot of your desk, just one. You will not organize all your files. You will close 3 browser tabs, just 3. You will not finish that project. You will throw away 1 component of it that you know you will never use. These actions are not about productivity. They are about sovereignty. They are about you sending a signal to the universe and to yourself that you are reclaiming a tiny, almost invisible piece of territory from the empire of chaos. You are proving that you can start something and see it through to a defined end, even if that end is just a clean square foot of laminate or a trash can with 1 more piece of junk in it. This is neurological physiotherapy. You are retraining a brain that has atrophied from disuse. It will feel pointless. It will feel stupid. Your mind will scream that it's not enough, that you should be doing more. Ignore it. The goal is not the clean desk. The goal is the act of completion. The goal is to feel in your body what it's like to start a task and then be done with it. To experience the closure your life so desperately lacks. Your external world and your internal mind are a feedback loop. You cannot fix the chaos inside while living in chaos outside, but you also cannot face the overwhelming external chaos with your current fractured mind. So you start with the smallest possible point of intersection, 1 square foot, 3 browser tabs, 1 discarded object. In these tiny, completable acts, you will find the first seeds of the order, focus, and peace that have eluded you for a lifetime. Begin there. Let's talk about your body. Not as a temple, but as a neglected factory you've let fall into disrepair. This physical form of yours isn't just tired. It's a monument to your own disregard. The fog in your brain, the heaviness in your limbs, the constant low-grade ache you've learned to call normal, these aren't random afflictions. They are your body's final desperate telegrams. sent again and again to a management that never replies. You treat your body like a rental car you're trying to return with the engine blown and the interior stained. You pump it with cheap fuel, processed food, sugar and caffeine, and wonder why it sputters and stalls when you need a burst of speed. You deprive it of the basic maintenance of consistent sleep, then curse its inability to perform complex tasks. You expect it to run a marathon when you haven't walked it around the block in years. The arrogance is staggering. Look at your posture right now. The slump in your shoulders isn't just a physical habit. It's a physiological manifestation of the weight you refuse to carry with purpose. You're literally collapsing under the burden of a life you're not strong enough to live. Your spine is curving into a question mark, as if your entire being is asking, "Is this all there is?" And your breath, that shallow, timid little sip of air you take. You breathe like you're afraid to take up space, like you're apologizing for the oxygen you consume. A full, deep breath is a commitment. It fills your diaphragm, expands your ribs, signals your nervous system that you are here, you are present, and you are ready. Your pathetic little breaths signal only retreat, a constant state of low-grade panic, a body perpetually preparing for a threat that never comes, but that you constantly imagine. You've become a ghost in your own machine. You scroll through fitness inspiration online, you buy the workout clothes, you even download the apps. But it's all performance, a pantomime of health for an audience of no one. The action, the sweat, the real, gritty, uncomfortable work of building a capable physical vessel. You avoid it with the same skill you avoid everything else that matters. You've convinced yourself that thinking about health is the same as pursuing it. It is not. This physical decay is not separate from your mental stagnation. They are partners in your decline. A sluggish body produces a sluggish mind. A stiff, aching frame reinforces a rigid, inflexible mindset. The fog in your head is the direct result of the toxicity in your cells. You are trying to solve a software problem with a corrupted operating system running on failing hardware. The path to reclaiming your mind begins with the radical, non-negotiable reclamation of your body, not for aesthetics, not for the approval of others, but for basic, functional competence. This does not require a dramatic gym membership or a punishing diet. It requires a fundamental shift from treating your body as a problem to be ignored, to treating it as the primary instrument through which you experience reality. Start with the breath. Before you do anything else, you will learn to breathe like you mean it. Sit up straight. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Do this just 5 times. That's it. Feel the panic rise. Feel the resistance. Your mind will scream that this is a waste of time. That is the sound of your addiction to anxiety being threatened. Do it anyway. Then you will move. Not exercise. Move. You will walk for 10 minutes outside, without your phone, without a podcast. You will feel the sun or the wind on your skin. You will feel the mechanics of your hips and knees and ankles. You will notice the world around you. It will be agonizingly boring. Your mind will throw a tantrum, demanding stimulation. Your job is to be bored, to be present in the simple animal fact of your body in motion. This is not about fitness. This is about reunification. It is about ending the civil war between your mind and your body. It is about sending a new kind of signal through your nervous system. One of capacity, not fear. Of presence, not escape. Your body is not holding you back. It is waiting for you to finally show up and take the wheel. The engine is still there, buried under layers of neglect. It will cough and sputter at first, but with consistent basic care, it will turn over. And for the first time in a long time, you might just feel what it's like to actually be driven by a capable machine. Ready for the road. Let's talk about your sleep. Not as rest, but as an 8-hour theater of war where your subconscious fights battles your conscious mind is too coward to face. You don't truly sleep. You pass out from exhaustion, only to be met with a parade of your deepest anxieties dressed in the garb of dreams. You wake up not restored, but haunted, carrying the residue of the night's invisible struggles into a day you're already too tired to face. This cycle of fatigue is not an accident. It is a meticulously engineered system of self-sabotage. You stay up late, scrolling through the glowing rectangle, not because you're not tired, but because you're terrified of the silence and the darkness where you might actually have to be alone with your own thoughts. The day is for performing, for distraction, for noise. The night, in its quiet truth, is where the facade falls away, and you are left with the raw, unedited footage of your life. So you avoid it. You push the boundary of the night further and further, until consciousness is ripped from you by sheer physical necessity. And what do you feed your mind in those final vulnerable hours before surrender? A feast of other people's lives, of curated perfection, of news designed to horrify, of arguments that solve nothing. You are literally tucking yourself into bed with a cocktail of anxiety, envy, and rage. And then you're surprised when your subconscious serves you a nightmare. You are the screenwriter, director, and producer of your own psychological horror film, broadcast nightly behind your closed eyelids. Your bedroom is not a sanctuary. It's a command center for your own demise. The blue light from your devices disrupts the very chemistry of sleep, telling your brain it's still daytime, still time to be on high alert. The clutter on your nightstand is a visual to-do list of your failures. The work you bring into bed is a violation of the most basic boundary between effort and rest. You have turned the one place meant for restoration into a secondary office, an auxiliary worry room. You chase sleep as if it's a state to be achieved, a prize to be won. You try all the hacks, the supplements, the apps that play babbling brooks. But sleep cannot be chased. It is a state you must allow. It is a surrender. And you, in your constant state of low-grade resistance, are incapable of surrender. Your grip on consciousness is a white-knuckled grip on control. And until you learn to let go, true rest will remain a stranger. The solution is not another sleep tracker. The solution is to make peace with your waking life, so that your sleeping life can stop being a war zone. An hour before you intend to sleep, you will begin the ceremony of surrender. You will shut off the screens, all of them, the phone, the TV, the laptop. You will place them in another room. This is non-negotiable. You are ending the digital drip feed of anxiety. Then you will tend to your physical space. You will not clean the whole room. You will simply clear your nightstand. You will make the space around your bed orderly and calm. This is an external signal of an internal desire for peace. Then you will sit in a chair or on the edge of your bed, and you will do nothing. You will not read. You will not plan. You will simply breathe and allow the thoughts to come and go without grabbing onto them. You will feel the frantic energy of the day slowly dissipate. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel like wasting time. This is the feeling of your nervous system downshifting from fifth gear to first. When you finally lie down, it will not be with the desperate plea, "Please, let me fall asleep." It will be with the simple, quiet intention, "I am resting now. Whether I sleep or not, my body is at rest." This is how you reclaim the night, not by fighting for sleep, but by surrendering to rest. You are ending the war between your day self and your night self. You are giving your subconscious the signal that it is safe to stand down, that the trenches can be abandoned, that for these next several hours, there are no battles to be fought. The peace you cultivate in those waking moments before bed is the peace you will invite into your dreams. And from that truly restful sleep, you might just wake up with something you haven't felt in years, a quiet mind and a body that is actually ready for the day. You have spent a lifetime building walls of excuses, walls of distraction, walls of self-deprecation, so thick you could no longer hear the world outside, or even your own voice within. We have spent this time examining the architecture of that prison, tracing the cracks in the foundation, feeling the coldness of the walls. But a crack is not just a sign of damage. It is the beginning of an opening. It is the first fragile invitation for light to enter. That restlessness you feel now, that is not a malfunction. It is the signal. It is the part of you that never agreed to the life sentence you imposed upon yourself, finally stirring from its dormancy. The numbness is receding, and what is being revealed is raw, tender, and exquisitely sensitive. This is not a setback. This is the most significant progress you have made in years. You are feeling the authentic ache of a soul that has been dormant, now stretching its limbs after a long, deep sleep. It is supposed to feel this way. The comfort was the lie. This discomfort is the truth of your potential knocking, and it will not be ignored. Let's talk about what to do with this new, fragile awareness. The instinct will be to panic, to grasp for a grand, sweeping gesture to fix everything at once, to write a 50-page business plan, to sign up for a year of personal training, to announce to the world that you are a new person. I am here to tell you, with all the force I can muster, to do none of those things. That is the old pattern in a new costume. The all-or-nothing drama that always leads back to the same cycle of burnout and self-recrimination. The path forward is built not of grand gestures, but of microscopic corrections. It is woven from threads so fine they are almost invisible. We are not building a new you. We are excavating the real you, one grain of sand at a time. And this requires a new kind of strength. The strength to be patient, to be kind, to be consistently, boringly gentle with yourself. Your first and only mission is to become a collector of tiny yeses. A tiny yes is not about achieving a result. It is about honoring an impulse. It is the quiet, internal agreement to follow a thread of curiosity, no matter how insignificant it seems. That flicker of interest when you see a recipe for a meal you've never cooked, that is a thread. The tiny yes is to save the recipe, not to cook a 5-course meal, but to save the recipe. The thought that you might enjoy listening to that podcast about ancient history, that is a thread. The tiny yes is to subscribe, not to binge 10 episodes, but to subscribe. The feeling in your body that it wants to stretch. The tiny yes is to stand up and reach for the ceiling for 10 seconds. Not to do an hour of yoga, but to stretch for 10 seconds. These actions are almost laughably small. They will feel pointless. Your inner critic will scoff. This is what you call progress? Saving a recipe? You must learn to thank the critic for its opinion and do it anyway. You are not doing this for the result. You are doing it for the neurological rewiring. You are teaching your brain, through action, that your inner impulses are valid and worthy of being followed. You are building a foundation of self-trust, one tiny yes at a time. Simultaneously, you must become a master of the graceful no. This is not the aggressive, resentful no of rebellion. It is the quiet, firm no of prioritization. It is the internal declaration that your energy is sacred. When the impulse to scroll mindlessly arises, the graceful no is to place the phone face down just for 5 minutes. When the urge to say yes to a social obligation you dread appears, the graceful no is to pause and say, "Let me check my calendar and get back to you." You are not rejecting the world, you are choosing yourself. With every graceful no to a drain on your energy, you make space for a tiny yes to something that might actually fill you up. This process will feel agonizingly slow. You will crave the dramatic cinematic montage of transformation. Resist this craving. The montage is a lie that skips over the most important part. The daily, unglamorous choice to listen, to honor, to protect the tiny, fragile flame of your own awakening. You are learning to walk again after a long paralysis. There will be tremors. There will be stumbles. The muscles of your will have atrophied. But with every tiny yes, with every graceful no, you are taking a step. You are not running a marathon yet. You are learning to feel the ground beneath your feet. And that is everything. The destination is not a place on a map. It is this ever-deepening relationship with the person you are, right now, in this moment, who is already enough, and is finally, blessedly, learning to believe it. The walls you've built were never to keep the world out, but to contain a light you were afraid was too bright. That light has been waiting, patient and persistent, and now you are finally learning to not be afraid of your own glow. What you once called restlessness is the energy of creation stirring within you. What you labeled as anxiety is the pulse of a life that is demanding to be lived fully and authentically. You are not broken. You are a seed that has been growing in the dark, and the discomfort you feel is simply the pressure of your own blossoming. Every tiny yes you've collected, every graceful no you've uttered, has been watering that seed. Now it's time to push toward the sun. Let's talk about momentum, not the frantic, desperate kind that leads to burnout, but the steady, powerful current that comes from aligned action. You've spent enough time in the shadows of your own potential. Now it's time to step into the light of your own becoming. The solution is not to try harder, but to listen more deeply. Your soul has been whispering to you all along, in that flicker of curiosity, in that pull towards certain activities, in the peace you feel when you're truly aligned. These are not random impulses. They are your internal GPS guiding you home to yourself. Start each morning not with a daunting to-do list, but with a simple question. What would feel like love today? Not what should you do, not what would impress others, but what would genuinely feel like an act of love toward yourself and your journey. Maybe it's taking 5 minutes to watch the sunrise. Maybe it's finally deleting that app that makes you feel inadequate. Maybe it's speaking kindly to yourself when you make a mistake. When you encounter obstacles, and you will, see them not as proof of your inadequacy, but as training ground for your growing strength. Each challenge is an opportunity to practice a new way of being. Patient instead of frantic, curious instead of judgmental, compassionate instead of critical. Remember that progress is rarely linear. There will be days when you feel like you've taken 3 steps back. On those days, your only job is to be gentle, to recognize that healing and growth move in spirals, not straight lines. The same lesson may appear in different forms until you've truly learned it. And that's okay. You are not here to become perfect. You are here to become whole, to integrate all the parts of yourself you've been hiding, The scared child, the angry teen, the disappointed adult. They all have wisdom to offer. Welcome them. Listen to them. Make peace with them. The world needs what you have to offer. Not a perfected version of you, but the real, authentic, messy, magnificent human being you are becoming. Your struggles have given you depth. Your wounds have given you compassion. Your journey has given you wisdom that cannot be learned from books. So take a deep breath. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet. Look how far you've come already. The path ahead is not about fixing yourself, but about unfolding into who you were always meant to be. Trust the process. Trust your timing. And most importantly, trust yourself. You have everything you need within you right now. Not when you lose the weight, not when you get the promotion, not when you find the perfect relationship. Right now, the peace you seek, the purpose you long for, the person you aspire to become, it's all here, waiting for you to claim it. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but the most important step is always the next one. Keep going. You have walked through the fire of self-confrontation and emerged not scorched, but tempered, stronger, clearer. The lies you once believed about your own limitations have been exposed as the fragile constructions they always were. You are not the sum of your past failures. You are not the projection of other people's doubts. You are not even the person you were when you first began listening to this. You are something new, something real. And this is just the beginning. The work of gaslight therapy was never about convincing you that you were worthless. It was about dismantling the false narrative of worthlessness you had accepted as truth. It was about creating so much friction against the lies that the spark of your true self could finally catch flame. And now it has. That flicker of awareness, that restlessness for more, that quiet knowing in your chest that whispers, I am meant for greater things. That is your truth. That is the voice you must now learn to trust above all others. Your past does not define you. Your old stories of laziness, stupidity, and inadequacy were defense mechanisms. They were shields you created to protect yourself from the terrifying vulnerability of actually trying and potentially failing. But you have now seen behind the curtain. You understand the mechanism, and with that understanding comes power. The power to choose a different story. From this moment forward, you get to write your narrative. Not from a place of shame, but from a place of sovereignty. You can choose to see challenges as opportunities to practice your new strength. You can choose to see setbacks as feedback, not as verdicts on your worth. You can choose to listen to the voice of your own inner wisdom, the one that has been waiting patiently for you to stop listening to the noise of fear and judgment. This is not a finish line. This is a new starting point. The real work, the beautiful, messy, exhilarating work of building a life aligned with your truth, begins now. It will require daily commitment. It will require choosing courage over comfort, again and again. It will require forgiving yourself when you stumble and celebrating yourself when you soar. But you are ready. You have everything you need. The same mind that constructed elaborate prisons of self-doubt is more than capable of architecting palaces of possibility. The same heart that felt every disappointment so deeply is your greatest source of resilience and compassion. You are not broken. You are a masterpiece in progress. The world needs the unique light that only you can bring. It needs your voice, your perspective, your healed wounds, your hard-won wisdom. Do not hide it. Do not shrink back into the comfort of the familiar. Step forward. Take up space. Claim the life you were born to live. Your journey continues here. This was just the first session. true. Lasting transformation is not a one-time event. It's a practice, a daily recommitment to choosing yourself. Subscribe to Gaslight Therapy. Let this channel be your ongoing sanctuary, your weekly reminder to protect your peace, honor your boundaries, and never forget the power you hold within. We will continue this work together, going deeper, building stronger, and creating a community of people who are done believing the lies and are ready to live their truth. Your awakening is a gift. Hit subscribe and let's continue to unwrap it together.